What's up, guys? Travis Moran here. We're here at world-renowned Bass Factory, Clear Lake, California, and I'm with brand new champion Wayne Breazeale and his beautiful looking trophy from the Costa FLW Series Western Division. Wayne, congratulations.
Thanks,
on
Travis.
Your first victory, man.
I appreciate it. It meant a lot. This was a huge win for me and been trying to get it for 15 years.
And you didn't come out of nowhere. This didn't take you 15 years. You've been knocking on the door at this thing, some second places. It's got to feel good to finally get that first place.
It's the best feeling. I've knocked on the door quite a few times, and it was huge to get over that hump.
Well, what do you say we get out of the water and you break down what it takes to become a champion out here on Clear Lake?
Let's do it.
So we made our run down the lake here, pulled out some spinning rods. Why don't you break down this area for us here?
I just saw a fish just bust back there, a big one. We're gonna go down there in a minute. Yeah, so anyway, I started here, second day I started here. The first day I didn't start here. I did come here later. And on the second day I knew I saved this place in case I needed a limit. And man, I'm glad I saved it because I needed a limit bad the second day. So second and third day I started here. So it's just it's a rock bank. It doesn't look like much, but I found a bunch of shad in here in practice, and the fish were blowing up on them, and I caught like two 5.5 pounders, one here and one at the other end, and I didn't fish the whole other part of it, saving it for the tournament. And I needed it big time. This place really came in for me. You got one already? No. Uh-oh, I had one. Ate half my worm.
Well, that wasn't difficult. Now, what are the fish doing in here, Wayne?
Well, they're moving up. They're going to spawn on these rocks. I don't think that they're necessarily all spawning right now, but they're preparing to. I did go through here yesterday afternoon and found a bunch of them in the rocks that are spawning. We finally got a little bit of a break from the wind. I was able to go in here and look around a little bit. But they were chasing shad in here in practice, and they were real easy to catch. Well, not as easy in the tournament, though.
I've got to point something out. There's still more rods in the rod lockers here, but on the deck already, you have more spinning rods than most of the tour guys even own.
That's just my gig. That's all I do. I'm a spinning rod guy. You know, if I throw the big stuff, I'll throw the bait casters if I need to, but when it gets tough, you know, these 3-day tournaments, the bite gets tough, and I like to go down. You have 8-pound test line there. I was using 6 yesterday. When I got real tough. You know, it was a real tough bite, so I went down to 6. You got 8, this is 8, but I did go to 6 yesterday. Caught a lot of my fish on 6-pound test yesterday. There he is. Oh, not a bad one. I could have used that one yesterday. Not a bad one. Would have been a good start. I started yesterday with a lot smaller fish than that.
So we're about 3.5 minutes into fishing, and Wayne's already got one.
Lucky tackle box.
Nice plug.
There he is. Oh, that's a good one. Nah, that's not as good as I thought. It was wrapped on that piling, I think. Decent one, though. Getting bigger. Oh, man, I could have used that yesterday. Man, I could have used that. That's a good one. Oh, and he's off. I couldn't have used that.
That was the next cast, by the way. Get the notepad out, people, because this is a clinic he's putting on right here. So now, what about the actual setup of the drop shot here? You got it wacky rigged.
Wacky rigged, yep.
How do you decipher between wacky rigging and nose hooking it, or going weedless? And then also, how do you choose the actual tag end, the length of that? I know some guys usually go. There's people 2 feet they're putting the tag end.
Yeah, I like it a little bit lower on Clear Lake. You know, if you're fishing in clear water lakes, I like it up higher, but on Clear Lake I go a little bit lower. The fish are more related to the bottom, I feel. And then I do a lot of wacky rigging in it because it slows down the fall a little bit on it. So when it's going down there, that wacky rig's going down. I got a 1/4 ounce weight, and this is about how far I put it every time. When it goes down there, the thing's going like that, and I'll catch a lot of fish on the fall. That first one I caught there, I think it hit it on the fall.
Wayne, it's a 3-day event. You know, you get different weather, different patterns change, the fish are going to do different things. What ended up kind of being a consistent bite for you, and then what was the little adjustments you had to make?
Well, the adjustments came because of the wind. The wind is what really killed what I had going. I planned on just sight fishing this whole tournament, but the weatherman and Mother Nature wouldn't allow it. The wind was blowing so hard, it made it really tough to sight fish, and we had a little bit of cold spell come through. So luckily I had found this spot. I didn't do much fishing in practice. I mostly just was looking on the trolling motor, but I did find this little spot where I was able to catch fish that were feeding on those shad, like I said, and I saved this spot in case I needed it, and man, I needed it. So yeah, I came here to get a limit each day, and the final day, I think it took me about an hour to get a limit off this bank. The second day, it took me a little bit less, but the bite yesterday was really tough. And I don't know, I got lucky there and caught those 2 quick ones, I don't know.
And so all 3 days on this little stretch right here, you were able to get your limit?
This is my limit bank, yeah. And actually a lot of those fish stayed in my limit that I weighed in. I use this as I would get my limit so I could settle down and go looking for some bigger ones when the sun came out and the wind would die a little bit. It was tough. The wind never did really die, but I had to have a limit so I could calm down and just go looking and spend some time. Because there wasn't a lot of bed fish, so you had to really hunt around to find one. Got one? Oh, he's on. Well, that's a good one.
Now, I've just been mimicking everything Wayne's doing as well. So he's shaking the rod and stuff, and
Oh, that's a real good one.
I think one finally fell for it.
Oh, you're going to like that one. I don't know how you're dragging. Oh, that's a good fish. I don't know how you're dragging. There you go. You're good. Okay. Nice fish. Do you see that? How about that rod?
That feels fantastic.
That's a nice fish.
Clearly, it's been a little while since I've caught.
I got one. We got a double header.
We're double hooked up. How do you like that?
Yours is a lot bigger. Oh, mine was big. You see the size of that one?
No,
oh man, that thing was huge. Good fish, Travis. That's a beauty. I could have used that yesterday, man. That's a dandy.
Dude, look at that. Look at that little tiny hook. That is a finesse setup right there. And two bags of well over 20 pounds during the tournament.
I know.
You can catch the big fish with the small setups just as easily. Fishing with Wayne Breazeale. Costa FLW Series Western Regional Champion.
That's a good sound right there. Yeah. You guys have no idea what that means to me. I've been trying to win one of these since they came out in 2003. They came out here. The first time they came out, I got second. They had a different format, and oh, you need a worm?
Yeah.
I got one right here for you. Okay. And I got second because of a different format. They didn't keep your weight the whole time. It zeroed each time. So that really did hurt me. I would have won that if it was a combined weight, but you know, that's the way it is. You just got to go with it. So I think I've had 3 or 4 seconds, and each time it hurts to get second. And this was the one I really wanted. I had so many family and friends. You know, I've lost 2 of my best friends have passed away in the last couple months. So Jerry Woodward and Dave Filari, and they were always at my weigh-ins. They call me when I'm going home. You know, it was for them too.
So what is the key when you were, you know, from practice even into the tournament, when you're coming along here, what are you looking for?
Oh, I'm looking for beds. I'm looking for fish, movement. A lot of times when it's, as you can tell around, you got the little ripple, you can't really see real good. But when you have a light colored bottom like that, as you're going through there, the fish will come swimming off the bank and you'll see them go across the light bottom. So then I'll spin around and concentrate on that spot a little bit. Let's try to see where the bed is, try to locate it. You see there's one right there. It's a little tiny one though. So
it's almost like you're spooking the fish when you're coming through the first time. You're making it move away a little bit, and that's when you're seeing it.
Yeah, sometimes when it's windy like this, I don't see the fish actually sitting on the bed. But as I go through there, like see that there? That was a carp.
Oh,
but
geez.
that's the same deal.
I just saw, just look, that fish was this big.
It was a carp. But that's what'll happen. You'll spook it and you don't know it. So then what happened, if that had been a bass, it would have came out, I would have took the boat, spun it around, and see if it goes back to the same area. See them rolling over here. There's another bed. Did you see that roll? See the dark spot? There's a fish right there.
It's on that dark spot?
Yep.
Or it is that dark spot? Huh?
No, it's on the dark spot. See, it's a little fish. See him right there? He's to the left of that dark spot.
Oh,
kind of swimming that way a little bit. Now, see, you got another bed right here. It's just a little bit tough to see with these ripples.
So Wayne has identified 3 beds in a little 15-foot radius.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's not this easy usually.
Now, there's a big part of the country, Wayne, that does not use tackle this small, the hooks this small and everything. Now, when you get bit, this isn't wrenching that, these aren't big hook sets, right? You're just kind of reeling down on them?
Yeah, I set the hook a little bit, but not too much. When you're using 6-pound test, you set the hook on a big one, you're going to break it on the hook set. And then once I hook them, then I just chase them down with the trolling motor. You know, when you're using that 6-pound test, that's all you can do. But these rods are so good, these rods give it up so good that you usually don't have any problem break off. As long as you fight them right, you're all good. And my motto is get them on first and then deal with getting them in later. Get that bite. That's the huge thing, is getting that bite. Water clarity here is not as good as it was yesterday, which is hard to believe. So I was able to see the bottom out here really good yesterday.
Wayne, you're no stranger. Oh.
Not very big. It should be like right below you there, Travis, I think. Or somebody might have got it too, I don't know. Yeah, see the rock right here?
I see the light rock.
Yeah, that light rock is where that fish was. That's a good one too. It's like probably a 4.5, 5-pounder. I don't see the fish today though. There's a male with it, it's about 3.
Oh, so both those fish were ones that you
I
were
could have used both of them, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, actually I foul hooked the male and had to throw it back. They went down to eat it and it didn't have the hook right, so I threw it back. But the female was quite a bit bigger than that. It's hard to see in there, Dave. I think. Yeah, there's a fish. See it right there? You can just see the fin. You can see he's faced that way. The tail's right there.
You guys know I can't see anything. I don't know what he's talking about right there. He just said he can see a fin.
Yeah, see the white rock?
Yeah, I see the white.
And just to the right of that, there's a fish. The tail's faced that way, the head's faced this way. And you're looking at, that's about 7 feet of water there. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer.
Also, the name of this lake is very misleading. It is not a clear lake.
See, there it comes. It's coming out right here. It's swimming out. See where the weed is? It just went around that weed. It's pretty spooky. It was spooky yesterday after I hooked it too. I spent a lot of time on this fish and it's acting about like it was yesterday. Oh, there he is. See him right there? See him now? He's right there.
I got the glare.
See the white rock? He's this side of the white rock. See the dark spot there?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, I want to see you catch him.
I don't know if I can catch him.
I want redemption here, man. I want to see.
Throw in there. See if you can catch him. He'll eat that.
Okay, now you just switched up real quick. So is this what?
Okay.
You found bedfish and stuff? What?
Yeah, so when I find the bedfish, I start out with something that's pretty subtle. I don't like to throw those white things like most people do right off the get-go, because what happens is when these fish first move up, like this fish has only been here for yesterday and today, because I was not there in practice. So when they first move up, they're super spooky. You throw some white thing in there, you might have a chance, but it scares them more than anything. I throw a little subtle like that. It's a Cinco that my buddy Mike makes these heads for me. Mike Minnie makes those and gives them to me, and it's an 1/8 ounce head. I just throw a little subtle thing in there and shake it around a little bit, and it doesn't bother them as much as if you throw a big bait on them. If you throw a big bait on them, they run scared. See if he sets up on the right spot. If he's not in the right spot, he ain't gonna bite. Yeah, he's just about in the right spot. Let's see if we can get him. See him laying on top of that rock?
Yeah, yeah.
There he goes, he's looking at it right now.
This fish was laying on top of this lighter spot. I guess there's a rock down there.
Yeah, that's his bed.
And then the second that bait went down there, the fish just turned and went nosing right up to it. Oh yeah, it turned.
Yeah, he just about had it there.
Okay, so now the fish is showing a little aggression, right? Like
yeah.
we saw the fish turn, so we saw a big.
Did you see that flash?
Yeah, we saw the flash.
I think he might eat. He looks like he's easier than it was yesterday. Everything's easier, it seems like. There he is. See him rolling out? See him to the left of the rock there?
Yep, yep.
He's looking at my bait right now. There he goes. Now see him right on top of the rock?
Yep, yep.
That's where we want him. That's his spot.
Hey, you keep saying that's his spot. Is it, so that you're saying it's locked onto one area that keeps going right back to?
Yeah, that's his bed right there. There he is. That's the little one. See the big one followed out? Watch this. It'll come right up to it. Look. See,
oh, yeah,
see it?
Yep.
See him?
She's right
that's
behind it. Yeah. Oh, and this fish is fat.
It's a fat fish, yeah.
Look at the belly on that
That's a
one.
fatty. And now the female's a lot bigger than that one.
Look at that.
Just a, you know, that fish is short. It should probably only be like 1.5 pound fish. That's probably 2.5. And that's what we did.
Well, thank you for the clinic on bed fishing. Holy cow, man. You just talked that fish right onto the bait. You really broke down the quick limit you did, and then that you went and did this bed fishing, and you made it look pretty easy. You sounded like it was a lot tougher during the tournament.
It was a lot tougher.
It sounded like you knew every single one of these fish out here, man.
I did. I had them all. I had them all pretty well dialed. Yesterday they weren't as willing to bite as they were today. You guys are good luck, I guess.
Oh, well, Wayne, I really appreciate you taking us out and breaking this down. Once again, congratulations on your first win. It's so great that how big and meaningful it was to you. Sometimes without that challenge, you can't really feel that great feeling that you get to have now.
Thanks, Travis. It was great having you on my boat.